More than 45% of engine failures reported by mechanics trace back to oil-related issues. Wrong viscosity, bad additives, or flat-out counterfeit products. I've had customers total cars under 80,000 miles because of it. A serious warning to all car owners: stop using this engine oil right now. Watch until the end for a bonus step-by-step guide if you've already poured the wrong oil. Let's go! Number 11. Expired or old oil. Sitting on shelves? Oil doesn't last forever. I don't care if the bottle's sealed. Sitting pretty on the shelf, it still breaks down over time. Most people don't even know engine oil has a shelf life. On average, you've got about 5 years before that oil starts turning bad. Once the additives break down, you're basically pouring junk into your motor. What happens when you use expired oil? Oxidation sets in. That means the oil thickens, forms acids, and loses its ability to protect metal surfaces. Instead of lubricating, it starts cooking your engine from the inside out. You'll see sludge buildup, sticky varnish on moving parts, and way more metal-on-metal contact than your motor can handle. I've pulled apart engines where the owner swore they just changed the oil, but the stuff inside looked like black tar. 9 times out of 10, they grabbed an old bottle from the garage or bought clearance bin oil from a parts store that had been sitting for years. Here's another kicker. Cheap stores don't rotate oil stock like food. I've seen bottles on shelves that were 6, even 7 years old. You think you're saving $10, but you're really gambling with thousands in engine repairs. So here's the rule. Always check the date code on the bottle. If you can't find one, don't buy it. Stick with a fresh supply. Saving a few bucks is never worth an engine rebuild. And if you think expired oil is bad, wait until you hear about the outdated oils people are still dumping into modern engines today. Number 10. Outdated conventional oils in modern engines. Conventional oil had its time, back when cars ran carburetors, loose tolerances, and no turbochargers. But in modern engines, it's a death sentence. I'm talking about straight SAE 30 or those old-school heavy blends like 20W50. Back in the 70s, sure, that worked fine. Engines were big, sloppy, and forgiving. But today's motors are built with tight clearances, variable valve timing, and turbochargers spinning at over 200,000 RPM. They demand modern synthetic oil, usually 0W20 or 5W30, depending on what the manufacturer calls for. Now, here's what happens when you pour outdated conventional oil into a modern car. It doesn't flow fast enough on cold starts. That means dry friction on your bearings, cams, and pistons in the first few seconds. The worst possible time. It breaks down under heat. Turbochargers will literally cook conventional oil into carbon deposits. Once that happens, say goodbye to smooth oil flow and hello to clogged oil passages. Emission systems take a beating, sludge and varnish build up faster, choking sensors and reducing efficiency. I've seen modern engines lock up in under 60,000 miles because someone thought thicker, tougher, conventional oil was safer. Wrong. That old oil can't handle modern demands. Car makers didn't switch to synthetics for fun. They did it because engines needed it. Ignore that, and you're throwing money down the drain. But here's the kicker. At least outdated conventional oil starts life as real oil. The next one? Some of it isn't even what you think it is. Number 9. Recycled or re-refined oil of unknown quality. Recycled oil. Or, as they like to call it, re-refined sounds fancy, right? But let me tell you, not all of it is created equal. Here's the truth. Used oil can be collected, cleaned, and put back on the market. If it's done properly, certified by groups like the American Petroleum Institute, it can meet the same standards as fresh oil. But here's the problem. Not every re-refined oil is certified. Many cheap brands cut corners, skip proper refining steps, and bottle up garbage. What happens then? The additives aren't stable. You get oil that foams, breaks down under heat, and leaves behind deposits. I've seen bearings scarred, camshafts worn, and oil filters clogged solid after people use the bargain bin green oil. Think about it. If the refining process isn't tight, you're basically pouring someone else's dirty drain oil into your engine. Do you really trust that with a $6,000 motor? Here's how you protect yourself. If you ever buy re-refined oil, make sure it carries API certification or meets your car's manufacturer spec. If that's missing from the label, walk away. Saving a few dollars isn't worth rolling the dice on an engine rebuild. And hey, if you're finding this breakdown useful, give the video a like so more car owners avoid these mistakes. Drop a comment if you've ever run into sketchy oil brands, and subscribe if you want real-world advice that saves engines, not sales pitches. Number 8. Racing oils in street cars. Here's one I see car guys screw up all the time. They think if racing oil is good enough for a track car, it must be even better for their daily driver. Wrong. Racing oil is built for one thing: short bursts of extreme RPM under controlled conditions. It is not made for the long, steady grind of a street car. Here's the problem. Most racing oils don't have the same detergent packages as street oils. Why? Because race teams change oil after every event. They don't need long-term cleaning. So if you put it in your daily driver, that junk starts to build up. Sludge, varnish, and deposits you won't see until it's too late. Then there's the additive problem. Racing oils often contain very high levels of zinc and phosphorus, great for protecting flat tappet cams at 8,000 RPM. But in a modern car with a catalytic converter, it's poison. Those additives coat the catalyst, ruin emissions systems, and trigger check engine lights. And once that cat's clogged, you're shelling out $1,500 or more to replace it. I once had a Mustang owner swear his car would last forever on racing oil. By 40,000 miles, the cats were shot, the O2 sensors were cooked, and the inside of the engine looked like it hadn't had a proper oil change in years. All because he used the wrong stuff. Bottom line, racing oils are for race cars. Your daily driver isn't one. Stick to what your manual calls for. And if you think racing oil is risky, wait until you hear about another oil people misuse. Number 7. Using the wrong spec oil. This one's sneaky because the bottle might look right. Same weight, same color cap, maybe even the same brand you trust. But here's the catch. Not all oils meet the same specifications. Every car maker sets standards for what their engines need. In the US, you'll see APISN or ILSA CGF-6. In Europe, it might be ACEAA3 or B4 or a Mercedes-Benz, VW, or BMW approval code. Even if the oil says 5W30, that doesn't mean it meets your engine's exact requirements. Why does this matter? Because oil isn't just oil, it's chemistry, detergent levels, anti-wear additives, friction modifiers, all tuned for specific engines. If you pour a European ACA oil into a US gasoline car designed for ILSAC, you could end up with too much ash and phosphorus, which wrecks catalytic converters, not enough detergents, leading to deposits on pistons and valves. Where on timing chains, cams, and bearings, that's invisible until it's too late. And here's another kicker. Using the wrong spec can void your warranty. I've seen brand new cars with failed turbos get denied coverage because the owner had receipts for the wrong oil. Imagine dropping $4,000 on a turbo replacement, all because of one bad choice at the store. So don't just grab a jug because it says the right viscosity. Always check your owner's manual, then match the certification symbol on the label. If it's missing, it's the wrong oil. And if you think wrong spec oil is bad, wait until you hear about the so-called miracle oils that claim to fix everything. Those are worse than snake oil, and they're next. Number 6, additive heavy or miracle oils. The shelves are full of miracle oils and additives that promise to restore compression, stop oil burning, or triple engine life. Sounds great, right? But here's the truth. If it comes in a shiny bottle with big promises, it's usually snake oil. Modern motor oils already have a carefully balanced mix of detergents, anti-wear agents, and friction modifiers. Companies like Mobil, Castrol, and Pennzoil spend millions getting that balance perfect. The moment you dump in an extra additive heavy oil, you throw that chemistry out of whack. Take zinc and phosphorus, for example. Too much of it wipes out your catalytic converter. I've seen them ruined in under 25,000 miles from super zinc miracle oils. Or molybdenum, a great friction reducer, but overload it and you end up with clogged passages and starved bearings. And don't get me started on the restore lost horsepower gimmicks. If your rings are worn, no bottle is bringing them back. At best, these products do nothing. At worst, they speed up the damage. I had a customer with a Toyota Camry who tried a miracle stop leak oil. Instead of fixing anything, it swelled the seals so much they cracked. The engine was leaking worse within 5,000 miles. Here's the bottom line. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Stick with oil that meets your car's factory spec and forget the gimmicks. And if miracle oils are a scam, the next danger is even worse. Number 5, mixing different oils together. A lot of drivers top off their engine with whatever oil is on hand. Half a quart of synthetic, then a quart of conventional, maybe even a different viscosity. It seems harmless, but mixing oils isn't a good long-term habit. As I mentioned earlier, each motor oil brand has its own unique formula. That means different detergents, additives, and friction modifiers. When you pour two different oils together, those chemistries don't always play nice. In some cases, they neutralize each other, reducing the oil's ability to clean, protect against wear, or handle high heat. Viscosity is another issue. Mixing, say, 5W20 with 10W40 doesn't give you a stable middle grade. Instead, you end up with unpredictable flow characteristics that may not protect the engine properly at startup or under heavy load. That said, if you're stranded and your dipstick shows low, adding the wrong oil temporarily is better than running the engine dry. Low oil will kill an engine faster than mixing brands ever will. But once you're home or at a shop, the fix is simple. Do a full oil change with the correct spec and filter. I had a customer with a Nissan Altima who mixed 3 different oils over the course of a year. By the time I drained it, the oil looked like muddy soup and the inside of the engine was coated in varnish. Number 4, cheap no-name or counterfeit oils. Fake stuff is everywhere now, and most drivers have no idea they're buying it. You see a familiar brand name, Castrol, Mobil 1, Shell, Valvoline, but what's inside that jug might not be the real deal. Here's how it happens. Shady companies refill used jugs with junk oil, slap on cheap labels, and sell it at flea markets, online shops, or even small corner stores. Some counterfeiters copy bottles so well that even mechanics have trouble spotting them. And the no-name bargain oils? Half of them don't even meet API or ILSAC standards. That means they're not tested, not certified, and not safe. The risks: engine failure, plain and simple. These oils might not have proper detergents or anti-wear additives. I've opened motors that were sludge solid after just 5,000 miles because the owner unknowingly used counterfeit oil. One customer came in with a seized engine at 30,000 miles. Turned out the synthetic oil he bought was nothing but rebottled mineral oil. Here's how to protect yourself. Buy from trusted retailers, not shady online deals. Look for the official API donut symbol on the back label. Check the cap seal. Counterfeits often have cheap, flimsy seals. If the price looks too good to be true, it probably is. Your engine isn't the place to gamble. But as bad as counterfeit oil is, at least it's still made for cars. The next mistake? People pouring diesel engine oil into gasoline cars. And that's a whole other disaster. Number 3, diesel engine oils in gasoline cars. I see this mistake more than you'd believe. Somebody hears diesel oil is tougher or better because it's built for big trucks, so they pour it into their gas car. Sounds harmless, right? Wrong. That move can quietly destroy your engine. Diesel oils are loaded with detergents, zinc, and phosphorus, chemicals designed to handle soot and high compression. In a diesel, that's great. In a gasoline car, it's poison. Those additives will coat and clog your catalytic converter, and once that cat goes, you're looking at $1,000 to $2,500 to replace it. Here's another problem. Diesel oils are formulated for different combustion byproducts. Gasoline engines need low ash, low phosphorus oils to protect sensors and emission systems. Dumping diesel oil in a gas motor means fouled oxygen sensors, check engine lights, and failed emissions tests. I had a customer with a Honda Civic who ran 15 W40 diesel oil because it was cheaper and lasted longer. By 50,000 miles, his cat was shot, his sensors were fried, and his fuel economy dropped like a rock. The savings? Gone, replaced with repair bills. That said, one engine that's been designed to bridge that gap is the new Cummins engine. It's engineered to run efficiently while meeting the demands of both diesel-grade durability and gasoline compatibility. If you want to see how Cummins combines the best of both worlds, check out my full review. Just click the link above. And if you think diesel oil is a bad fit, wait until you hear about the next one. This stuff is so outdated, it hasn't belonged in cars since the 1940s, but people are still using it. Number 2, non-detergent oils. Believe it or not, some folks are still pouring this into cars today. That stuff hasn't belonged in passenger cars since the 1940s. Back then, engines didn't have oil filters. They relied on the oil to just lubricate and let dirt settle at the bottom of the pan. But times have changed. Modern engines need detergent oils to keep everything clean and suspended until the filter catches it. Non-detergent oil has 0 cleaning additives. That means every bit of carbon, soot, and metal shavings stays in your engine. It doesn't wash anything to the filter. Instead, the junk bakes onto your pistons, valves, and bearings. The result? Thick sludge, stuck rings, and worn-out engines in a fraction of their normal lifespan. I've torn down motors run on non-detergent oil, and they looked like someone dumped tar inside. One Chevy small block came and locked solid before 40,000 miles because the owner thought old-school oil was better. Nope, it was a death sentence. Here's the simple truth. Unless you're running a lawnmower, farm tractor from the 1930s, or some antique engine without a filter, non-detergent oil has no place in your garage. If you see it on the shelf, walk away. And if you think that's bad, get ready. Because the number 1 mistake I see is happening in modern cars every single day. Number 1, wrong viscosity oils. Here it is. The number 1 oil mistake I see, and the one that destroys more engines than all the others combined. Using the wrong viscosity. Viscosity is the thickness of the oil. Those numbers on the bottle, like 0W20, 5W30, or 10W40, those aren't just random codes. They're engineered for your engine's clearances, oil pump design, and operating temps. If you get it wrong, you're asking for trouble. Let's say your car calls for 0W20. That oil is thin at startup, so it flows instantly to bearings, cams, and lifters. Now you dump in 10W40 because you think thicker means better protection. Wrong. On cold starts, that thicker oil moves like molasses. For the first few seconds, the most critical time for wear, your engine is running practically dry. That's when bearings score, cams pit, and piston rings scrape. On the flip side, put 0W20 in an older engine designed for 10W40, and now the oil's too thin. Pressure drops, film strength isn't there, and metal starts touching metal under load. Either way, you lose. I've seen engines sludge up, timing chains stretch, and turbos cook themselves, all because someone thought oil weight was close enough. According to Consumer Reports, even one viscosity grade off can increase wear by over 30% in modern engines. So here's the rule: never guess. Open the owner's manual. Follow the spec to the letter. Thicker isn't safer. Thinner isn't smarter. The wrong viscosity is the fastest way to kill your engine. But before we wrap this up, let's tackle the question everyone's scared to ask. What if you've already used the wrong oil? Don't panic. Here's exactly what happens and what you need to do step by step. If it was a short-term mistake, a few days under approximately 200 miles, warm the engine. Hot oil drains better. Drain it immediately. Don't wait. New filter. Make sure the old filter gasket isn't stuck to the block. New drain plug washer/seal ring. Don't reuse the crushed one. Refill with the exact spec from your owner's manual, APISP or ILSA-CGF6 or maker approval. Start, idle 2 to 3 minutes, shut down, check for leaks, recheck level on the dipstick, top off to the mark. Optional quick rinse. If the oil looked dirty or thick, do a short change again at 300 to 500 miles. Cheap insurance. If it was long-term use, thousands of miles. Wrong grade/spec. Look under the cap. Thick brown/black gel equals sludge. Listen, ticking on start, chain rattle, or knocking. Note it. Scan for codes. VVT/low oil pressure codes. P0011/P0521 mean trouble. Change oil and filter as above. Exact spec. Short intervals. Change again at 500 to 1,000 miles until the oil comes out clean. Oil pressure check, mechanical gauge, and compression/leak down if noise or power loss. Turbo engines. Inspect feed/return lines. Check for shaft play. Coked lines kill turbos. PCV system check. A stuck PCV drives oil use and sludge. Consider used oil analysis. Labs like Blackstone. Cheap way to spot bearing wear metals. If the low oil pressure light stays on, or it knocks, stop driving, tow it. Get a pro on it. Signs to watch for after the fix. Blue smoke shows there's burning oil. Low powers, sluggish feel. Ticking chain rattle on cold start. Oil light flickers at idle. Rising oil use between changes. Using the wrong oil can wreck your engine fast or slow. Stick to factory specs, skip gimmicks, and protect your ride. Next, learn the stupid oil change mistakes that destroy you engine. Watch the video below